Good afternoon. We're going to get started with today's sale of property for St. Clair County. How many of you have not been to one of these sales before? Usually it's at least half the room. We're going to go through the rules and regulations and other provisions of the sale before we get started so that everybody understands them and is on the same page. You're going to be agreeing to accept the rules and regulations of the sale as part of today's purchase. So please understand them. If you have any questions, if something isn't clear to you, please ask. You must have a valid photo ID in order to bid today, and you have to be registered prior to placing a bid. You have to have one of those bid cards in your hand. When you're bidding today, you are accepting the rules of the sale as they're printed in the book. It's right there. If you go looking through it, it says the rules and regulations at the top. You're accepting those as they're written, printed in the book, as they're listed online if there are any variations for the online bidding or announced at the time of the sale for specific properties. These properties have been through a judicial foreclosure process. It is complete as of the 2nd of April, 2018. Lots of notice was provided to parties that had interest in these properties. If they did not pay by the end of April the 2nd, 2018, their interest was voided by a circuit court decree. We've gone and seen the judge and asked them to give us a court order, a judgment that vests title in the county treasurer as the foreclosing governmental unit. It voids everything that's on that list. If the property was subject to deed or land contract ownership interests, those have been cleared. Mortgages, security agreements, liens, and judgments against the former owner of the property are gone. Old municipal utility bills, water and sewer bills, electric bills, phone bills, construction liens, tax liens, unrecorded interests of all kinds, they're all gone. Some things are not affected by tax foreclosure. Here's a short list. There may be more things on the list than this. These are the most common ones. Things like easements to or across the property, mineral rights that have been split off and held by third parties or sold to others, master deed, condominium covenants, homeowner association regulations, property owner associations, zoning and local ordinances. Is basically the rule of thumb is that laws that applied to this property before, laws or legal interests in the property that were in existence before the foreclosure are still there. Ownership interests and security interests have been removed by that court order. Crop harvest, if we sell anything today that's acreage, and I don't see anything in the book that is, but if you do find crops on a piece of land that you buy at the sale today, if it's a seasonal crop, something planted this year, we reserve the right to permit that crop to be harvested by the person that planted it, even if it's the former owner. You are not buying any annual crops on any properties you buy today. Please make sure that you know what you're bidding on today. There are no guarantees, warranties, or representations made of any kind. You're buying a piece of land. It's described in the book that's in your hand. That's what you're buying, nothing else. Many of these properties can have problems. They can have things like asbestos, lead-based paint, frozen plumbing, leaking roofs, bad foundations, you name it, we've got it. No extra charge today. It's all included in your purchase price. Please make sure that you know what you're bidding on today. There are no refunds. You buy it today. You can't bring it back later because you found something wrong with it. The time to do your homework is before the sale and not afterward. When we sell property today, we're going to be selling it. Everybody's got a copy of that book. We've asked you to tell us which pieces of property you're the most interested in. We're going to sell those pieces first. Then we're going to come back to the beginning of the book and sell what's left in order that they're listed in the book. If there is property in here and it looks like maybe a third of it, may not sell at all. If we have property that nobody's interested in the room, we're just going to skip them after we ask if anybody's interested in bidding on them. When we open a piece of property up for bidding, it works like this. These are the mechanics of the sale. In your book, you're going to see a number that says minimum bid. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4th column in your book. The minimum bid is the amount that that piece of property owes the county. Back taxes. Sometimes they've mowed lawns. They maybe have cleaned up some debris. They might have defended the legal title to the property in court and have some attorney fees. Whatever that piece of property owes the county is what the minimum bid consists of. We cannot sell for less than the minimum bid today. If I have a higher bid already from an online bidder, we start at the higher bid. We're going to start at one of those two numbers and then increase our bidding increments as you see them on the screen. Until we hit $1,000, we go up at least $50 at a time. $350, $400, $450, $500 in round numbers. Between $1,000 and $10,000, we go up at least $100 at a time. Once we're over the $10,000 mark, we then increase bidding at not less than $250 per increment. 10 and a quarter, 10 and a half, 10,750, 11,000, just like that. The people bidding online bid in those increments. It's only fair that you do as well. What they cannot do that you can do is something called jumping the bid. You've got something in your mind, you know what you're willing to pay for it. There seem to be a whole bunch of people interested in it, and right now it's trading at around $2,200 and $2,300 and $2,400. You can stand up and shout out $50,000. That's called jumping the bid. If you do that, it just moves things along a lot quicker. Sometimes I'll ask if I know that I've got a pretty high online bid coming already and we're still way down in the basement, I might want to ask if somebody wants to jump the bid. Sometimes I'll ask, sometimes you'll volunteer it, but jumping the bid is something that you're definitely allowed to do. Who is allowed to buy? Everybody in this room may not be eligible to even be bidding here today. This is a rule that many times auction purchasers are not familiar with. You cannot bid on property today. You can't pay for it. You can't have your name on the deed. You can't have any DNA, any fingerprint, anything to do with this sale today at all if you have other property in St. Clair County with delinquent property taxes. It's against the law for you to participate in today's sale. There's a criminal penalty for doing so. You cannot have delinquent property taxes and bid on the property, even if you're putting it in somebody else's name that doesn't have delinquent taxes. Nobody that has delinquent taxes can be involved in this sale whatsoever. That includes a bidder or associate, the person making the payment, the person writing the check, any party to be listed on the deed. You cannot have delinquent property taxes, not necessarily strictly just in your name. If you have an interest in a business entity, a partnership, an LLC, something of that nature, and that entity has delinquent taxes, you can't bid today. If you co-own property with other people, siblings, deer camp, friends, family farm, if there's any delinquent property taxes, you can't bid today. If you are holding a deed on a property that you've sold to somebody else on a land contract, if their taxes are delinquent, you can't bid today. This is state law. This is not just some policy that we cooked up. We'll tell you more about that in a little bit, but basically start going through your memory banks. If you have any association with any property in this county that has delinquent taxes, you should not be bidding today. And it's Saturday, you can't pay them before you do bid, so you should not be bidding at all today. We have several ways to bid. We have you guys here in the room. You're going to bid with your yellow bid card. We have people that have placed bids online. That was open this morning until 11 o'clock. I've got those bids right here in my hand. I've got 30 bids on properties already. We also have a camera and a microphone on top of that tripod that's on that projector right there. People can see and hear this auction live as it's happening. If they've given us a credit card pre-authorization, they can bid against you as well. So those are the several ways people may be bidding today. When you bid, it is a legally binding contract. Don't bid if you're not sure. We reserve the right to cancel or reject any and all bids. We don't reopen the bidding once we've sold a piece of property. There are no tie bids, and if your bid is not received, whether you're in the room or online or standing outside tapping on the glass, it doesn't matter. If we do not recognize your bid before we say sold, it is deemed as not being offered. If you win today, you have to pay in full today within about 30 minutes of the end of the sale. If you can't pay today, you should not be bidding. You should not have come to the auction with no money on you. That's not how it works. The first $1,000 you give us today has to be certified funds. It's a cashier's check or a bank draft that you're going to be bringing. Generally speaking, it's going to be made out to you in the amount of $1,000. You give it to us if you win. It's a non-refundable deposit. If you don't win, you take your certified funds check, you endorse the back with your name, and you put it right back in your account. Over and above that first $1,000, the balance can be paid by personal or business check money orders, credit cards, or additional cashier's checks. We accept Visa, MasterCard, and Discover cards only.
Yeah.
We do not accept cash. We did in the past, we do not anymore. If you win today, here's what you're going to pay. This is the math on the winning bids. There's going to be a winning bid price determined here in the room. There are three. Could you please take your telephone conversation in the hall? Thank you. Your final bid price, there are three additions to that. The first is a 10% buyer premium. There's a $30 fee for recording your deed in the state of Michigan, regardless of the number of pages or how many properties are on it. So there's going to be a $30 fee for recording your deed. It'll be sent back to you after it's recorded. We also, by state law, are going to be collecting from you today the summer tax bill. When you leave here today, the taxes on this property will be current. The summer tax due for each piece of property is listed in the sale book at the end of the description. So if you win today, what you're going to be paying is the final bid price, 10%, $30, and the summer tax bill. That's what you'll be paying today. Many of you have already given us the information on the website as to the names you want listed on the deed of the property if you purchase something today. If you haven't done that on the website, there's a form in the back of your book. Please fill it out before you get in line. It keeps things running much smoother if everybody's got their paperwork done before they get there. Give us the names and addresses of the people you want listed on the deed to the property. Please make sure to use your legal name. Do not use your nickname. List it very similar to the way that it's on your driver's license. If you're putting names of other people on there to be co-owners, make sure they don't have delinquent taxes or your sale will get canceled. Maybe you need to make a phone call before you put somebody's name on there just to double check with them about that. If you are buying property with somebody else today and you are not married to them, you need to give us the form of tenancy, the ownership method that you're taking title to the property by. And there are several options for that. If you're buying property today with a relative, a friend, a business partner, you're going to be co-owners. You have to tell us what happens to the interest of any owner who dies. If somebody dies, does their ownership share of that property go to their heirs? Does it flow to the other remaining living co-owners? You have to pick one of those. The options are listed in your sale book. If you're buying and putting in more than one name, they'll ask you when you check out which of these you're choosing, so please pick one out. When you leave today, you're not going to be leaving here with a copy of the deed. You're going to be leaving with a receipt. Your receipt is your contract of purchase. It's our agreement about the sale and the terms of sale. Before you leave, they will furnish you a copy of your receipt. They'll ask you to look it over. They're going to ask you to sign it at the bottom, but before you get there, there are going to be several places you'll initial. When you're initialing those various spots, here's what that means. First of all, they're going to ask you to review it, the name and address that you have given them. Make sure it's spelled correctly. If it's wrong on that receipt, it's going to be wrong on your deed. Let's do it right the first time. The list of properties you bought today, that 4-digit number that's in the left-hand column of the book, make sure it's the right one. Make sure that the math is correct, that the dollar amounts that you bid and what you're paying are correct. They'll ask you to initial that when you're happy with it. Then you're going to be agreeing to the terms of sale, the rules and regulations that are in this book, the things that we're discussing right now. You're going to be accepting those when you initial in another spot. You're going to be acknowledging that even if you didn't do so, that we've given you the opportunity to go out and look at the property, to go out and drive around, and to have the time and opportunity to figure out what it is and where it is and whether or not it's suitable for your purposes. You're going to be accepting everything that you buy today as is in every respect. This is an important one right here. Please keep in mind that if you buy something today, you're paying for it today, you're getting a receipt today, but you are not the owner today. By law in Michigan, you are not the owner of what you buy today until you have the deed. That's going to be about 6 weeks. We have to collect everybody's payment, put all the checks in the bank, let them all clear, create the deeds, have the treasurer execute them, take them to the registered deeds office, have them imaged and entered into their computer system. Then they're going to stamp them and they're going to mail them back to you. That's a process that takes 6 weeks or so. The law says that until the time that deed is delivered to your mailbox, you are not yet the owner. The treasurer does reserve the right, if necessary, to cancel that sale. It's very seldom that we have to do so. Once in a great while, if we run into a situation where maybe a bankruptcy pops up, or there was an heir situation, or I should say a guardianship. Tears dancing on me. That we may need to cancel a sale. Very seldom happens. We sell for about 70 counties in the state of Michigan. We sell thousands of pieces every year. Some years we have to cancel 1 or 2 sales because something popped up afterward. If you buy something today, you are not the owner of the property until you have the deed. We should tell you that you cannot enter the properties until you have the deed, that you should have no involvement with them because of liability. We can tell you that. We know from experience that you're going in today anyway. You're going to just completely disregard what I tell you and march right on in there. So here's the deal. It's going to be part of your checkout agreement today. We are giving you possession of unoccupied properties today for the specific purpose of inspection and security and supervision. You are not authorized to make any changes to the property. You're not allowed to start remodeling, ripping things down, tearing things up. Don't do those things until you have the deed. If your sale has to be canceled, what you're going to get back is what you paid today. If you disregard what I'm telling you now, you run out and put a new roof on something, put brand new windows in it, and your sale's canceled, you just bought somebody else a new roof. You don't get any of that money back. When you check out today, you're agreeing that in exchange for early possession of unoccupied properties, that you are indemnifying the county from injury, loss, or damage claims between now and the time that you get your deed. You're not the owner until you do have the deed, and the seller by law has the right to cancel the sale if necessary. The final part of your checkout process, I told you a few minutes ago that you cannot bid on things today. You can't have any involvement in this sale at all if you have delinquent taxes. Please pay attention to this. You've all had a moment to think through the various situations surrounding pieces you may own in this county. If you are in the process of checking out, the clerk is going to ask you to make what's called a sworn statement. The clerks are notary publics. They're going to ask you to make a sworn statement that you do not have delinquent taxes. If you misrepresent your situation, if we discover after the sale that you do have delinquent taxes and you misrepresented yourself to the clerk, who's a notary public, and you made a sworn statement, there's a word for that. It's called perjury. You've perjured yourself in front of a notary public. Perjury in Michigan is not a misdemeanor. Perjury in Michigan is a felony. If you tell us you don't have delinquent taxes, you try to buy a piece of property, we find out that you do have delinquent taxes, your sale will be canceled, your file will be sent to the prosecuting attorney's office for their deliberation about what to do with it. So please, if you have delinquent taxes, don't bid today. We will cancel your sale. There is a criminal penalty. None of us needs that hassle. Here is a form in the back of your book. It's probably the very last page. It looks like that. It's the Michigan Property Transfer Affidavit. For every piece of property that you buy today, you are required by the law to fill one of those out and send it into the assessor's office in the city, village, or township where the property that you buy today is located. This is a form that alerts the local assessor that the property has been sold and it's time for them to consider reassessing its value. You're going to give them your name and address so they know where to send the tax bill from now on. You're going to describe the property that you bought. You're buying it today from the St. Clair County Treasurer. You're going to tell them how much you paid the day that you bought it and that you paid cash. There's a whole bunch of check boxes along the bottom half of that page. None of those apply. They might look like they do, but they don't. Those are the exemptions. None of them apply. Fill out the top part, sign it at the bottom, send it to the city, village, or township office where the property is located. Attention, the assessor. You've got 45 days to do it. If you don't, they can fine you up to $200. Title insurance is not something you are required to get to buy real estate in Michigan. It's an option for you. If you're buying a vacant piece of land next door to something that you already own, you've been mowing it for the last 20 years, all you want to do is park your boat there. You don't need title insurance. If you're buying something today that you plan on flipping, you're going to fix it up and sell it to somebody else, and they're going to have to go to the bank to buy it from you. Or if you're buying something and you plan on refinancing it to get some capital to work on it or do something of that nature, you're going to have title insurance. Not all agents will issue title insurance on these parcels, and even some of the ones that do may give you a lot of hoops to jump through. They might want you to get a quiet title action with an attorney going on to clear the title, which is already cleared basically by court order. They may want you to go get deeds from the former owners, which should not be required because there's already a court order that says that their interest has been voided. But not all title insurance get this process. If you don't have any luck with your local title insurance agent, here are a few that you can call that know all about this process and specialize in writing title insurance on this kind of land. First American Title in Detroit has a very specific office that deals in tax reverted property. Tax Title Services, you can tell by their name that they know what they're doing in this stuff. TaxTitleServices.com. Vets Title in Grand Rapids, you're actually going to be looking for an entity called Sun Title, S-U-N Title.com, I think is probably their website. The Devon Title Company has offices across the lower portion of the state. You can look to them. A new player in the game this year, and they seem to be very aggressive about this work, is SNP Title. They're up in the middle of the state near Indian River. There's a phone number there. You can look for them online at snptitle.com. They've told me that they'll write policies on this property anywhere in the state. You can skip the one at the bottom. He only operates in the Upper Peninsula. So those are a few options for you right there. They do have some information out of the clerk stations if you want to ask them about title insurance. This is an important date. If there's only one thing that you walk out of here remembering in your head, that should be that date right there on the screen. If you run into any situation, you run into any person, anything that wants to bring back a claim or any kind of an interest, or say that somebody owes them money, or you find yourself kind of getting into the middle of an argument with somebody about something to do with this property, it's all going to come back to that date. Anybody that shows up that says that they have an ownership interest in the property, that they might have done work on it, somebody owes them money, that there's some old bill that all of a sudden is your bill, if it's from before that date right there, it's gone. The court says so. There's an order on file. Write that number down. Keep it in your head. Most years that's April the 1st, but this year the last day to pay fell on a weekend, so it got pushed forward to Monday. And April the 3rd is the day the treasurer became the clear title owner of this property. That's the effective date of your purchase today. If you buy something today, any claim, any liability, any kind of an anything that shows up, if it's from before that date, it is not your obligation. The court has washed it away. Anything that accrues after that date is your obligation. Anything that we are aware of right now is included in that minimum bid that's in that book. You're paying the summer tax bill. The only things that really may pop up after that date might be a connection fee from a utility company. Sometimes even if the water's turned off, they're going to charge you $5 a month or $10 a quarter for the privilege of being connected to the line, even if it's not hooked up. If there is such a fee, it's yours only from April the 3rd forward, not before that date. If there's a homeowners association or condominium owner association fees from before that date are gone. The court says so. It's your obligation only after April the 3rd. This is important if you're buying something. We're selling a lot of property today that's in cities and villages. If you're buying something today and it's got municipal water and sewer service, write down those 4 digits at the top of your screen, 7258. That is a Michigan Attorney General opinion number. You can Google it on your phone right now and look it up. You can go home and print it out on your computer. Hang on to it in case you get into this argument with the water department. You go down there to get the water turned on. It's been turned off for a little while because the house has been empty. You go down there to get it turned on and they start going through their records and they say, well, that last guy didn't pay his water bill. And it froze last winter and it ran all winter long and now it's $4,000. And if you don't pay it, we won't turn it on. They can't do that. Their bill, that lien, municipal utilities get treated like everything else. That's the day that they end. Anything from before that day is gone. Just because the water department has it on their books is irrelevant. The court has cleared it away. And if that's not enough to win your argument, 7258 is. That's a Michigan Attorney General opinion, and it says two things. First of all, it says an old water bill at that property is not your obligation as a tax sale buyer. It's already gone. It's been voided as being a lien against the property. If it's still on their books, it is not a lien against the property you're buying today. It's a debt of the former owner. They can go chase him. They can't make you pay his bill. The second part of that Attorney General opinion is this. Not only is it not your bill, but they cannot refuse to turn the service on if you won't pay that other guy's old bill. It's got nothing to do with title to this property anymore. That was vacated as of April the 3rd. They can go chase the former owner, but as far as you're concerned, they have to turn that water service on for you without requiring payment of that old bill. Your liability begins April the 3rd and not a day before. Possession, we talked about it already. We're giving you possession today, subject to the rights of anybody that's already in that property. If it's occupied, there are other rules. If it's vacant, we're letting you have possession today. You're not the owner. You're there for the purposes of security, supervision, and inspection only. You can let yourself in. You can change the locks. You can measure and look around. Don't spend any money on these until you have the deed. What if there's somebody there? You're going to run into, in some of these properties, occupants. How you treat an occupant is going to depend a whole deal on who that occupant is. If there are renters in properties that you buy today, they generally don't have any skin in the game. They hope they can stay there. They just want to pay their rent. They usually don't want to move, but they usually know that you're coming and they're going to be civil. Other occupants of these properties may include friends or relatives of the former owner. They typically also know that somebody's going to show up sooner or later and have the discussion about paying the rent or moving along. You may run into a former owner still occupying a property. Many of them just simply did not have the ability to pay, or there may be some other reason that they did not want to keep the property, couldn't afford to keep the property, but they may still be there. They're generally going to be approachable and they know that this day is coming. You could, however, run into somebody that's in one of these properties that is not stable. I want to urge caution in your approach to any occupied property that you buy today. If there's somebody in there that does not recognize the right of the government to tax the property, they might be armed, they might be a little unhinged, they might be very angry. Don't just walk up to the door of something that you buy today if you sense that it's occupied. My advice to you is to go talk to a neighbor. Every piece of property that we're selling, generally speaking, is going to have somebody in the neighborhood who knows who lives in that house, whether they're approachable, what their frame of mind is, whether it's safe for you to go up to that door. Go talk to a neighbor before you go up to the door of the house. It's going to be much safer for you. What you're buying today, you are buying a piece of land and whatever is physically attached to the land, assuming that we own it. We have foreclosed on a piece of land. We have foreclosed on the buildings, the driveways, the septic tanks, the air conditioner, the water heater, whatever's physically attached to that piece of land, unless it's owned by somebody else. If it's got a leased water softener in it, that's the property of the Culligan man. We don't own it. We can't sell it or even give it to you. So you're buying what is attached to the land that we have title to. You are not buying anything on that piece of property that's ever had wheels under it, anything that's ever had a title to it. You are not buying automobiles, appliances, boats, RVs, campers, personal property, valuables, papers, jewelry, inventory. If it's on the property and if somebody can pick it up and carry it away, we don't own it. We can't sell it to you today. We can't even give it to you today. If you find anything on a piece of property that is not physically attached to it, it is not yours. If it appears to be of value, again, talk to the neighbors, find out where the last owner or occupant went, give those people an opportunity to come and get their stuff before you dispose of it. There is no specific amount of time you have to give people. There's no specific procedure you have to follow. You just want to seem as though you are the reasonable person. If somebody comes back later and says, when I left, there was a brand new Harley Davidson in the garage. Now this guy gave it to his brother-in-law, and I want him to give me the value of that Harley. And if you didn't give them any opportunity to come and get it, that judge might make you pay them for that. You want to make some kind of an effort to reach out on anything that you find that is of value. Give them an opportunity to come and get it, and stay out of trouble that way, because we don't own and we can't sell or give anything on that property that's not attached to it. By extension, we do not warrant the title to mobile, modular, and manufactured housing units, and the reason for that is very simple. The person that owned the land is not always the person that owned that unit. You can have a piece of property and you can have a trailer on there that's on a rented lot. We can't sell you something we don't own. It's just like the personal property argument. If you buy a piece of property today and it's got a mobile, modular, or manufactured housing unit on it, even if it's on a concrete block foundation, if the owner of that unit or a lien holder of that unit had nothing to do with the land and didn't get notified and didn't get the opportunity to pay the taxes and wouldn't have anyway because they had no interest in the land, I'll bet the judge would let them take their mobile, modular, or manufactured housing unit with them. If somebody shows up and says they're going to do just that, they've got the truck already in the driveway ready to hook up to your modular home that you bought today, make them show you paperwork from a court that says they have that authority. Get your opportunity to present your case to the judge, make them prove they have the right to take it. But if they can come up with a justifiable reason that it's theirs and not yours, just remember that we do not warrant title to any kind of a mobile, modular, or manufactured housing unit. We're almost ready to get selling today. When we do sell, it's like riding a teeter-totter. We're going to open up at the minimum bid listed in that book or a higher price if I already have one from an online bidder. Then we're going to come into the room. I'm going to find two bidders that want to go on a piece of property just like riding that teeter-totter until somebody wants off, and then I'll put somebody else on. When I'm down to one bidder in the room, then we're going to go and see if we have anybody online that wants to keep on bidding. Couple of hints for those of you that are new, and a lot of you are. First of all, when you're done bidding today, you got or you didn't get what you came for and you're ready to leave, do not leave that card on your chair. That bidder card, treat it like you're a brand new American Express Platinum credit card, because somebody could pick that card up and buy you a whole bunch of property you don't want today. Turn it in where you got it with the clerks out there. If you've got a cell phone, please put it on silent or vibrate. If you brought granny or a baby with you, or somebody that doesn't hear well, or you need to have an argument or a conversation with somebody, please take it outside. We're trying to conduct business. It's a lot easier if we don't have 10 little side discussions going on in the room. If you make a mistake, don't wait till after the sale to ask to be let out of buying a piece of property, because the answer is going to be no. We want you to pay for what you bid on today. If you have discovered that you just bid on the wrong piece or misunderstood the price, let me know instantly. As soon as you realize that, I can still sell it while the other bidder is in the room. I can't resell it after everybody has left. Please be considerate of us, and we will be considerate of you as well. And when we say it's sold, it is. If you wait till the absolute last second to bid for the first time, thinking you're going to save money, it will work, because you won't be buying anything today. Don't tug on your ear. Don't wink at me. Don't do this. I can't tell if you got a twitch or if there's a bug flying around the back of you or what's going on. Use the yellow card, get it in the air, make it obvious. Don't wait till the last second. If you're nervous about not being included in the bidding on something when your parcel's coming up to be sold, move right down front, get closer. If you're sitting in a back corner in the shadows, we're not going to reopen the bidding because your bid was not received. It's your responsibility to make sure that it gets through. Before I sell something, I'm going to go going once, going twice, sold. You should have that card in the air when I say going once. Shout out at me if you need to. Do not be missed in the bidding. I'm not an auctioneer. I do not do the yabba dabba doo. I'm going to be pointing at the high bidder and telling everybody in the room what the amount is. If I'm pointing over there, it's going to an online bidder right now. If I'm not pointing at you, you're not winning. Any questions? It's very simple how this works. Yes, sir.
On that payment for that $1,000 or whatever it is, you said money order would work?
Cashier's checks. Money orders, you can tell them that you lost them and they'll give you your money back. It's gotta be non-refundable. Well, Williams, we'll see if you win something. You should have come prepared. It's in the written rules that have been out there for years. Yes, sir. To be announced. They'll have it outside. You can probably ask. I don't know that any of them in my book say TBA. Did you get that off the website? Or is it something that got you here today? Oh, they're toward the end. Those may be parcels that were put in that were sold in previous, or that we tried to sell in previous years and they didn't sell. Is that what those are? I'm not certain. If we don't have the amount, then you're not going to pay them today, but we'll find out. We'll find out that answer as soon as we can. Any other questions? Yes.
When you fill out that form for the assessor's office, you put the bid, the cost, or is it bid plus 10%?
Just put what your winning bid price. You don't want to tell them that you paid any more for it than you have to, because they'll assess it higher. The lowest number you can give them is going to be the best one you can give them, and they're going to ignore it anyway. Yes.
I was under the understanding that you pay the summer taxes when you file the deed.
We file the deed. We collect the tax. It's all done right here today.
You're collecting taxes even though we don't have it today.
We're collecting the summer taxes when you pay for the property. We pay it on your behalf. Any other questions? Then we're going to get started. Let me take a quick look at my book here. I've got a few parcels that are more popular than the rest, and we're going to sell those first. Or maybe not. I do have some that are more popular than the rest, but there's so little in this book, and it looks like a pretty good chunk of it's not going to sell, maybe at all. So perhaps we'll just go through them in order. I think that's what we're going to do. Let's start out with parcel number 6100. It's on Liberty Street, Elginak Way. Last we knew, this parcel was occupied. Liberty Street, I've got a couple of online bids on this one and several people in the room that are interested in it as well. I'm already at 11.5 with an online bidder. Anybody in the room want to give me 11,750? I've got it right there. Anybody here at 12,000? Do I have another bidder in the room for this one? Now I see cards all over the place. We're going to play a little game. If you give me $12,000, you put your card up in the air and hold it there just like that. And you hold it till I say a number you don't like. It'll make this go a whole lot quicker. 12,000, 13, 14,000, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, $20,000, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, $30,000, 31, 32. I'm going to start back there with you at $32,000. Do I have a bid in the room at $32,250? Anybody here at $32,250? $32,250, 32 and a half. How about 33 and a half, 34 and a half, 35 and a half, 36 and a half, 37 and a half, 37,750. I've got you on at 37.5. Anybody in the room want to give me 37,750? 37.5 going once.
Yep.
37,750 online. Now 38,000 and 38 and a quarter. 38,000 in the room.
Yep.
38 and a quarter online. You want to jump it to 39? 39 in the room. They can only go up 250 online. He's taking it to the next 1,000, 39 and a quarter. Now 40,000, 39.5. I've got 39,250 online. Anybody in the room at 39.5? 39,250 online. Going once. Going twice. Sold it online for 39,250. My backup bidder. What's the backup bidder number? 340. The backup bidder is, in some situations, able to step into the shoes of the winning bidder if they cannot or will not perform. The winning bidder paid $39,250 for that. If for some reason he flakes out and won't pay, we will call you and offer it to you for $39,000, one bid increment below the final sale price. It is not negotiable, so don't even bother going there. It's yes or no. The next one has a pretty good amount of interest, number 6101. Well-maintained two-story home. It's got canal access out behind, so you can put that boat in the water, although that's not your boat, is it? You can put your own dinghy in the water right behind this house and go boating. Tremble Road, occupied as last we knew. My minimum bid in that book says $8,700. My online bidders are already at $16,000. Who in this room will give me 16.5? If you'll give me 16.5, put your card up in the air and just leave it there till I say a number that you don't like. 17,000, 18, 19, 20,000, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25,000, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30,000, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, $40,000, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, $50,000. I'm going to start with you at 50,000. Who wants to give me 50.5? Anybody in the room? What about 50.25 online?
Yep.
50.5. 50,750.
Yep.
51.25. 51.25, 51.5. You want to give me 52? How about 52.5? What about 53.5? 54.5. 54.25. I've got you at 54,000. Anybody in 54.25, 54.5, 54,750, and now 55. 55.5, 56. 56.5. 56.5. Somebody back here was flashing a card just a second ago. 56.5, 56,750, and now 57,000. 57.25, 57.5, 57,750, 58,000. 58.25, 58.5, 58,750, and now 59. 59.5, 60, 60.5, 61, 60,750. I've got 60.5 right up in front. 60.5 going once. 60,750, now 61.25. 61.5, 61,750. 62.25. 62.5, 62,750. 63,000. 63.25. 63.5. 63,750. 64,000. You want to give me 64.5? 65.5. 65.5. 65.5, 66.5, 66.5, 66.5, 67.5, 68.5, 68.25. I've got 68,000, 68.25, 68.25, 68.25,
Yep.
68.5, 68,750.
Yep.
69,000, 69.25.
Yep.
69.5, 69,750.
Yep.
70,000, 70.25. I've got 70,000. Going once.
Yep.
70.25, 70.5, 70,750. 70.5. Going once.
Yep.
70,750, now 71.25. 71.25, 71.25, 71,000 going once. Twice. 71,351. My backup bidder is online. Anybody in the room here to bid on 6103 today? If not, we'll skip right on by the ones nobody wants. Anybody on 6103? I have several people interested in 6105. Let's open that one up. It's on Virginia. There is personal property around here that is not included. There's a little bit of mold that is. No extra charge. Even comes with some Fido poo. I need $12,750 for that one. If you'll give that to me, put your card up in the air and just keep it there. 13,000, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, $20,000. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30,000. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40,000. 41. I'm going to start with you at 40,000. Who wants to give me 40 and a quarter? Anybody anywhere? 40 and a quarter back there, 40 and a half. How about 41 and a half, 42 and a half, 43 and a half, 44 and a half, 45 and a half, 46 and a half. You want to give me 47? How about 48, 49, $50,000. 50, 49 and a half, 49 and a half, 49 and a half, 49, 750. I've got 49 and a half with you. Anybody in the room at 49, 750? What about our friends online? They're in. Now I need $50,000. He said he's done. 50,000. Anybody in the room at 50,000? 49, 750 online. I need 50,000. 49,750 going once, twice. Sold it online for 49,750. My backup bidder is 128. Anybody here for 6106? 6107, 6113. I've got a circle in my book around 6115. Do I have a bidder here for that? It's circled. Let's open that one up. 6115 is a vacant parcel on Russell Court. I need $800 for it. I got it? 800 right there. Anybody want to give me 850? $800 going once, twice. You bought it $295. Anybody in the room for 6120? On the next page, I've got a bunch of people interested in 6121. Time to get off the grid, live out on the island where there's no power. Only one neighbor, hopefully you get along. I've got 5 bids online on this one already. They're gonna go higher, and I got a bunch of people in the room that want to bid on it too. It's at $12,750 already online. If you'll give me 13,000 for that, put your card up in the air and just keep it right up there. Do I have more than one? 2? How many do I have? I should have a half dozen or more. Anybody want to give me? I'm going to take 13,000. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,000, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 29 and a quarter. We've come all the way together. 29 and a quarter, 29 and a half, 29.5. 29 and a quarter with the lady right there. Who wants to give me 29.5? Anybody else in the room? What about online?
Yep.
29.5, 29,750, and now 30,000.
Yep.
30 and a quarter, 30 and a half.
Yep.
You want to give me 31? 31 and a quarter.
Yep.
What about 32 and a quarter? 33 and a quarter.
Yep.
34 and a quarter.
Yep.
35,000. 35,250.
Yep.
36,250.
Yep.
37, 250.
Yep.
38, 250.
Yep.
39, 250.
Yep.
40,000 and a quarter.
Yep.
41 and a quarter.
Yep.
42,000, 42, 250. Ooh, I've got 42. Going once, twice.
Yep.
Ooh. 42, 250. You better hurry up, Chuck. Either he's got a slow internet connection or he's married. Has to get permission over a certain dollar amount. Had to get pre-approval. 49 and a half, 42 and a half. Sorry about that. 42, 750. 42 and a half. Going once. Going twice. That time you bought it. 42 and a half, 177. My backup bidder is online. $61.23 on Lapeer Road out in Clyde. Ranch style home, occupied as last we knew. I've got a $5,600 bid already online on this one. That could be a modular home. Please just keep in mind what we told you earlier. $5,600 is what I have online. If you'll give me $6,000 for that one, put your card up in the air and just keep it there. 6,000, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,000, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I'm going to start with you at 25,000. Anybody in the room want to give me 25 and a half? Anybody anywhere? I've got 25,000 back there. What about 25 and a quarter? Not so far. I've got 25,000 going once.
Yep.
Ooh, there they are, 25 and a quarter. You want to give me 26? 26 and a quarter. I don't know that bidder. 26 in the room, need 26 and a quarter. 26 going once, twice. 26,295. My backup bidder is online. $61.24 is in the book. It's not being sold. A judge has given them an opportunity to get that one back. $61.25 is next on Hawks Nest Drive. It's a vacant corner parcel. This is in a condominium subdivision, which is basically you're going to be subject to the condominium master deed, and you're going to be liable for the condominium fees as of April the 3rd, not a day before. If they try to collect old fees from you, it's not your obligation. There are court cases that say so. $61.25. I've got 3 online bids and several people in the room. I'm at $7,100 already online. Who wants to give me $8,000 for that one? I've got 8 right there. How much?
8,500.
85, 9,000, 95. 95, now 10. You're gonna give me 11, 12,000? I've got 11 back there. Anybody wanna give me 12? I've got 12 right there. 13,000, 13, 13,000, 13 and a half. 14,000, 14 and a half. 15,000, 15 and a half. 16,000, 16 and a half. 17,000, 17,500. 17,750. I've got 17,500 over there. Anybody in the room at 17,750? 17,500. Going once.
Yep.
17,750 online. Now 18,000. 18 and a quarter.
Yep.
18,500. 18,750.
Yep.
19,000. 19 and a quarter.
Yep.
19,500. 19,750.
Yep.
$20,000. Now 20 and a quarter.
Yep.
20 and a half. 20,750. 21 and a quarter. You gonna give me 22? 22 and a quarter. How about 23 and a quarter? 24, 23 and a half, 23,750, 23,500, 23,750, 24,000, 24 and a quarter, 24 and a half, 24,750, 25,000, 25 and a quarter, 25,500. I think he's done. I've got 25 and a quarter online. Anybody in the room at 25,500, 25,250 online, going once, 25 and a half, now 25,750. 26,000, 26, I've got 25,750 online, going once, twice, sold it online, 25,750. My backup bidder is number 292. Number 6126 has a bunch of people chasing it. Ranch style home on Rin Road out Emmett Way. 26,750 is what I need for that. If you'll give me 26,750, put your card in the air and keep it there. Who wants to give me 30,000? 32,500, 35,000, 37,500, 40,000, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. I'm going to start with you at 47,000 right there. Who wants to give me 47,250? I've got 47,250 behind you. 47,500, 48, 48 and a half, 49 and a half, 50 and a half, 51 and a half, 51 and a half. I've got 51 in the back row. How about 51 and a quarter? 51,000 in the back row. 51,250. Now 51,500, 51,750. I've got 51,500 in the back row. Anybody in the room at 51,750? 52 and a half, 53, either one of you. 53 and a half, 54 and a half, 55 and a half, 56 and a half, 56 and a quarter. I've got 56,000 in the back row. Anybody want to give me 56 and a quarter? 56,000 in the back row. 56 and a quarter. Online, 56,500. 56 and a quarter, 56,500. 56,750. 57,000. He said no. 56,750 is where I'm at online. Anybody want to give me 57,000? I've got it back there now. 57 and a quarter. What about 58 and a quarter? 58,000 and a quarter. 59, 59 and a quarter. $60,000. She said, "I ain't no way, Pancho. It ain't happening in my life. Not today." 59, 250. What about 59,500? Anybody in the room want to give me 59,500? Ooh, second bidder online. This can get slow and painful. They can only go up $250 at a time. If they both want to go to $280 million on it, we might be here a while. It's at 60,000 and creeping up 250 at a time. We had one like this in Grand Rapids one time. 2 online bidders, nobody in the room wanted it. It started at $10,000. It went to $180,000, 250 at a time. We were ready to go out for pizza by the time that one was over. They're still going. It's at 60,750. We'll let you back in if you want back in when they are done. But they're not done yet. But if somebody in the room wants to jump to bid $80,000, that would speed things up. They are at 62,000 and they're still going. Back and forth on the teeter-totter. These are both live bidders watching us on that little camera right now. We had no advance bids online on this. It is at $64,000 and they're not done. It's at $65,250. Are they done? Not yet. $66,000 and still going. $67,000 and still going. And they're still at it. It's at 71,000 or thereabouts. Maybe they're done now. It seems to have, nope. I'd tell you a good joke, but I don't know any. Just bad ones. 72,250, and they're still plugging away. Once they slow down, we'll let you back in if you want back in. Headed for 75. And it's still going. They might, nope, they're not done. I can see why they're bidding so much. It's got DirecTV. It's at 77.5, and they're still bidding. $80,000 is where it's at now, and they don't seem to be done. $82,750, and they're still clicking away. 85,000 and still moving. Are they done? Nope, they're not done. It's at 87.5. Doesn't seem as though they're slowing down much at all. $90,000. And they're not done. Or are they? It's at 90,250 right now. It seems to have stopped. Anybody in the room want to give me 90 and a half? Anybody anywhere? I didn't think so. 90,250 going once. Twice. Sold it online for 90,250. The backup bidder is also online. Number 6127 is circled in my book. Do I have a bidder here for 6127? We'll sell it if somebody wants it. Right there he is. Let's open that one up. 6127 on Fargo Road, vacant parcel. It is roughly 57 by 230 feet in size. I need $4,200 for it. I've got it right there. Anybody want to give me 43? 4,200 going once, twice. That one belongs to you. What's the bidder number? Number 140 at the minimum bid. Number 6128 has an online bid. It's a vacant parcel as well in the St. Clair Country Club Estates. $500 I need for it. I've got it bid online. Anybody want to give me $550 for that one? $500 with an online bidder going once, twice. $500 online. On to the next page. I do not have circles around the first three in my book. 61, 29, 34, or 35. Is anybody here to bid on 61, 29 today? Anybody want a roasty toasty funeral home? Maybe things got out of control down in the crematorium. 6134 is on Woodrow Avenue. Anybody here for that one today? 6135. Anybody here for the two on Roosevelt? Let's go down to 6138. It is circled in my book. Do I have a bidder in the room for the one on Omar Road? Somebody circled it. Are they here? If not, we'll skip it. Let's go. Oh, they are here. 6138 on Omar Road, Kimball, vacant parcel in the John Witzke plat of Sperlingville. $1,600. I've got it right there. Anybody want to give me 17? 16 going once, twice. You get to mow that one starting today. What's the bidder number? Number 243 has probably already been mowing it for years. You get lots of neighbors on the vacant lots that have already been taking care of them. They just want to make sure they own them now. Anybody in the room for number 6140? 6140. Anybody here for that one? Then let's go down to number 6141. Next on the list, two bids online and a couple of bidders in the room. Vacant corner parcel with commercial potential. I'm at $950 online. Who wants to give me a $1,000 bill? I've got 1,000 there. Anybody at 11? Now 1,200, 13, 14, 1,500. You want to give me $2,000 for that corner lot? What about 2,500? 21. You want to give me 25? How about 3,000? 26. We'll do it the slow, painful way. 27, 28, 29, 29, and now 3,000, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. I've got $3,500 with you. Anybody in the room want to give me 36? I've got 3,500 going once.
Yep.
36 online, 37, now 3,800. 37 going once.
Yep.
38 online, 39, and now 4,000. 39.
Yep.
4,000, 4,100, now 42.
Yep.
43, now 4,400.
Yep.
45, now 4,600.
Yep.
47, 48.
Yep.
49, and now $5,000.
Yep.
5,100, now 52. 51 going once. 51 going twice. 5,100, 344. They bid too slow. 5,100, 344. Backup bidder is online. You can build yourself a brand new whippy dip out there in that corner. Anybody in the room for 6142? Let's open up 6143. I've got an online bid on the one on Glen Street, vacant parcel. I've got an $800 bid on that beauty right there. Anybody want to give me $850? $800 online going once, twice. Sold it online for $800. Anybody in the room for 6145? What about 6146? I've got a whole bunch of people interested in 6148. Let's watch the sparks fly on this one. Fairly modern construction, 1-story, newer subdivision, detached garage, and it's vacant. My minimum bid in that book says $8,100. I've got almost a dozen online bidders and theoretically another dozen here in the room. This is not going to sell for $8,100. It's already at $28,000 online. If you'll give me $30,000 for that one, put your card in the air and just keep it up till I say a number you don't like. 60K. 60K? 60? 60. Who wants to give me 65? 70. 75, 80,000. I'm going to start back there with you at 80,000. Who wants to give me 81? Somebody wants to give me 81. Who wants to give me 80 and a quarter? What about online? 80 and a quarter. 80 and a half. 80 and a half. 80,750. Aren't you glad we didn't do that $100 at a time? 80,750, now 81,000. 81 and a quarter.
Yep.
How about 82? 82 and a quarter. Anybody else in the room want in on this one? 82 and a quarter.
Yep.
What about 83? 83 and a quarter.
Yep.
84 and a quarter.
Yep.
85 and a quarter. 86 and a quarter.
Yep.
87. He said he's done. I'm at 86 and a quarter. What about 86.5? You can scare him away. 86.5. I've got 86,250 online. Anybody in the room at 86.5 right there. 86,750.
Yep.
87 and a quarter.
Yep.
You want to give me 88? 88 and a quarter.
Yep.
89 and a quarter.
Yep.
90,000. 90 and a quarter.
Yep.
What about 91? 90 and a half. I've got 90,250 with an online bidder. 90 and a half. 90,750.
Yep.
91. I've got 90,750 online. Anybody in the room at 91,000? 90,750 going once. Now we got another online bidder. Let's watch the paint dry again. We'll let them run till they're done with it. They're off clicking their buttons like mad over here. 2 online bidders. 91.5. We'll let them go till they're done. We'll let you back in if you want back in. You guys can't leave because you've got money left. I can smell it from here. You have to buy something before you go. That's in rule number 42, section C. 93,000, and they're not done. $95,000, and it's still just clicking away. It's creeping toward 100,000. $250 at a time. $100,000. And it stops. Anybody in the room want to give me $100,250? Anybody? $100,000 going once, twice. Sold it online, 100,000. Backup bidder is also online. Anybody here today for 6150? 6152. I have 6153 circled in my book, and I've got a bidder for it right there. 6153. I need a $100 bill for it. There's my big spender right in the room right there. Anybody want to give me 150? $100 going once, twice. You bought it. Probably cost you more than that in gas to get here today. 330 is my winning bid number. Anybody here for 6154? 6155. 6156. On the next and last page, that whole page right there, I have nothing circled on it at all. Are you guys done? Is there anything on that page you want to bid on here today, or are we done? Which one? 58 and 9? Is anybody here today for 6157? Well, let's go down to 6158. I need a $100 bill for that one. I've got it right there. Anybody want to give me 150? 150 and now 200. I've got 150 over here. 150 going once. 200 online. 2.5 and now 3. 2.5 in the room. Anybody at 3? 250 going once, twice. 250, number 261. Backup bidder online. Number 6159. They want that one too. $100 bill. $100. Anybody want to give me 150? $100 going once, twice. 150. Now 200. 200. I've got 150 over here. 200 behind you. Now 2.5 and 3, 3.5. Now 4, 4.5. I've got $400 right there going once. 400 going twice. $400, number 190. My backup bidder is 261. Anybody here for 6160? 6161. 6162. 6164. Which one? 62. 6162. $100 bill. I've got a bid right there. Anybody want to give me 150? $100 going once, twice. You bought that one too. Bidder number 213 at the minimum. Keep in mind when you're buying vacant lots, if they're inside a city, village, or such, they expect you to mow and take care of them. If they don't, they will send you big mowing bills that are more than the value of the property in a very short period of time. Anybody in the room for 6164? Let's open that one up. $100 bill right there. Anybody want to give me 1.5? $100 going once, twice. 213 buys that one also. 6165. Anybody here for that one? And I guess we're done. Thanks for coming. We will be in Gaylord on Monday, Alpena on Tuesday, Boyne Falls on Wednesday, something like that. We'll be all over.
On properties that